Today's topic is door knocking versus setting appointments. I put together a few bullet points, but for the most part, I just really wanted to just kind of have conversation about this with a few of our different managers. Like I mentioned, Travis and also Jason are both on. These are just some advantages, I think, to door knocking. I think more people will answer their door than answer their phone. I mean, we know these days so many people are screening their calls. They don't answer if they don't recognize a number. It's sometimes it can just be very difficult to get that person on the line. And I think it's a lot easier when you go straight to the house. They see you, they're curious, they're wondering why you're there. Maybe they won't answer the first time you show up, but if you keep showing up, that curiosity is just going to continue to grow. And I think that sooner or later they're going to come to the door because they're wondering, who's this person that keeps showing up in my house. So I think that that is one advantage to door knocking versus setting appointments, is you're going to catch a lot more people at home that are going to answer the door, and you're going to get in more houses because of it. Now, direct mail leads too. I mean, I think a lot of this too, and again, I'll have Travis and Jason on here in a minute, but I think a lot of this too is based off of the type of leads that you're working. For instance, direct mail leads, you can order direct mail leads by zip code. So because of that, I mean, you get 20 to 30 people that are just a few minutes apart from each other. So it's not like you're driving an hour to see one person. You're driving an hour and you might have 30 people to visit with. So I think that is definitely an advantage to door knocking, is that you're out there and you have plenty of people to see. It's not like you're just driving out there to see one person. And especially with the direct mail leads. Now, if you have leads that are further apart, I mean, there's some leads that you have to order by county. Some of them, I mean, it could be a 25 to 50 mile radius around a zip code. I mean, that could really spread you out to the point where maybe you would have to set up appointments. You'd have to call first. But if you got a lot of leads in one area, me personally, I definitely prefer door knocking over setting appointments. A disadvantage is that you're probably going to do more driving. Gas prices are high right now. I mean, you're going to spend more money going out to see people, but again, you may get in more houses, which means you're going to make more sales and make more money. So I'm sure there's maybe other advantages or disadvantages, and that's what I can talk to Travis and Jason here about in a couple minutes. Some advantages to setting up appointments. Well, less driving. I think you have maybe a little bit more structure to your day. You're probably going to save a little bit of time because you're not driving all over the place, one house after another. Hopefully you have a full day of appointments set. So, one thing too, I think that I've seen people that have been very successful when they hire an appointment setter. So they're not taking the time themselves to set up appointments all day. I mean, that's a whole day where you could be out in the field. They actually will hire people to set up those appointments for them. And if you have enough leads, that could be a good way to go about doing it. I know one guy actually who has an appointment setter, actually a few people that write well over $200,000 a year in premium. They have enough leads. And again, they're not taking the time out of the field to set those appointments. They're paying somebody to set up appointments for them. And I mean, heck, if you could set up 5 to 7 appointments every day, Monday through Friday, well, yeah, you're going to have a very successful week. But a disadvantage, even if you have somebody who's setting up calls for you, or I'm sorry, appointments for you, well, you're going to run into a lot of no-shows where, you're all excited because you set up 7 appointments for the day and 5 of them weren't home. And a lot of that could be too based on when you set up the appointment. If you are calling on Monday and you're setting up appointments for later in the week, there's a real good chance you're going to run into a lot of no-shows because people are just not going to remember that they set up that time to visit with you. So So that's, if you are setting up appointments, I would recommend maybe 1 to 2 days out at most, and that's about it. So and again, I mean, it would be wasted time on the phone if you're spending all that time on the phone to set up appointments and then half of them aren't home. So those would be a couple disadvantages. And I mean, another disadvantage, as I mentioned, is that a lot of times people are not answering their phones if they don't recognize a number. So if you're strictly just setting up appointments, you're probably going to have a lot of wasted leads. I'd say too that if you're the type of person that you can't get out of your house unless you at least have an appointment set, well, then get on the phone and set up an appointment for 9 o'clock in the morning every day, Monday through Friday. That'll get you out of the house. Then you're already out there. From there, you should have other leads in those areas that you can hit and have people to see. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute Jason and Travis, and we're just going to talk a little bit more about this. Give me a second here. Let me find them. Good morning, Travis and Jason. How you guys doing today?
Hey, good. How's it going?
Good. Hi, Travis, and I think Jason's here too.
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, Adam.
Hi, Travis. So if you guys want to maybe just take a little minute to introduce yourselves, kind of tell us who you are and what you do. And I know Travis, I know that you do a lot of door knocking, but lately you've also been setting up appointments. So, we can kind of talk about that. I know, Jason, you're strictly, I'd say probably close to 100% door knocking, unless you knock on a door and the person just can't meet with you then and there, and then you're setting up the appointment. So anyways, I'll start with Travis. What's up, Travis?
Oh, just out actually running appointments.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful day, and one of the quick advantages, I guess what we'll say, is it's 11 o'clock and I got 2 sales for $1,500 in premium.
Nice.
So I had 2 appointments set before a meeting today. Yeah, I think there's a lot of validity to both of them. They both work. And it'll be fun to talk about different sides of the coin, because like you said, I know Jason's a door knocking king.
What's up, Jason?
How you doing? Yeah, Adam, I came from a background where I was pretty much making the appointments, working direct, the telemarketing leads. And, like you said, you get stood up a lot. And so when I, working these leads, knocking on the door, I just find it a lot more successful as far as not spending so much time chasing people down. So that's unless I can't get a hold of somebody for 3 or 4 times, 5 times, then I will call them.
So you're primarily, so what do? You take your leads, you put a route together. Like, how are you managing your leads, and to maybe save a little bit of time so you're not going from point A to Z to Q to D?
That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm putting them together in the area and just hitting them one next to each other, and they're all in that area. So I'm able to save a lot of time. And then the app that you told me about, the Road Warrior.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
So you've been using that? Yeah, I know. The mapping programs. I used to just use regular GPS. I had a Garmin, and now with technology, there's so many different mapping apps out there, navigation apps that really do what we need them to do. But yeah, I've been using a GPS with route planning for years. I'm not just plugging in one lead. I'm plugging in like 30 leads, and it'll give me the fastest route. It'll like shuffle the leads into the proper order, so you're not driving all over back and forth. And I kind of feel like that has made me a lot more money over the years because I've saved so much time. Well, when I first started, they didn't even really have GPSs yet. And it was a little bit harder. There was a mapping software program that I used where I'd print the route out every day and just kind of follow it. But the problem with that was I didn't know where I was at. So when that route ended, I mean, I'd have to drive home. So with the, with the GPS now, I mean, or the route planning, I mean, I could finish a route by 2 o'clock in the afternoon and then put another route together. All the people that weren't home, you put them back in, you run them again. I mean, it's so much of this, I just think, is trial and error. And I guess just like if you're calling and setting up appointments, I mean, you're not gonna have everybody answer their phone the first time you call them. So just a lot of trial and error, trying in the morning, trying in the afternoon, trying in the evening, weekends. So Travis, I know you've been setting up more appointments lately. How is that going for you? I mean, have you gotten stood up much, or?
Yeah, so I kind of want to preface it with a little bit of kind of why I decided to set appointments and run appointments. I'm wanting to hit this last quarter hard. So I'm buying a lot more leads than I normally have in the past. Where I did just door knock them. So my opinion, if you're getting 20 leads or less every week, there's no reason to set appointments. You're doing yourself a disservice at that point. And if you're going 20 to 40, I think setting appointments can free up some of that time, because it's not an either or. If you're door knocking, you can just door knock. If you're doing 20 to 40 leads a week and you're setting appointments, you also have to door knock. So it's not an either or, it's an and. And Franco, unless you're doing more than 40, I don't think you need an appointment setter. You're only going to be hacking into your ROI if you're paying somebody, $300, $400, $500 every week. You just don't have enough sales to support that, I don't think. Does it have its value? Yeah, for the people that are getting, 50, 60, leads every week, has a ton of value, because you don't have the time to call them. But, if you have the time, you're much better off, and you'll have a higher show rate calling them yourself.
Yep. Yeah. You made a good point there that, even if you're setting up appointments, if that's all you're doing and you're only going out and seeing the people that you're setting up appointments on, I mean, you're really wasting a lot of money.
You're gonna have some with no phone numbers. What are you gonna do? Throw those in the garbage?
Yeah, I mean, you have to door knock as well.
Yep.
What's that?
You're gonna call, and you're gonna say, "Hey, this is Travis," and they're gonna hang up on you. They don't even know. They have no idea why I called, and they still hung up. There's plenty of people like that. They don't know me. They're not talking to me. I'm going to door knock those people. I'm not going to throw away $40 lead because they hung up and when they had no idea why I called.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, you're right. I mean, another good point. I mean, direct mail leads. Yeah, not every single one of them is going to have a phone number. Even other leads. I mean, we got these digital leads. These SEO leads. One thing I've discovered on those, a lot of times people are not putting in like all of their most accurate information. I mean, sometimes they're just plugging in a bunch of junk because they think at the end they're going to get a quote, and
right.
And so maybe we have an accurate address, but we don't have an accurate phone number. Or you try calling, people's phones are disconnected. That doesn't mean they don't live there anymore. That just means their phone is not currently working or on. So
absolutely. Biggest sale I've made this year was, setting appointments. When I came across the lead in big bold letters said, "Do not call, please." So I door knocked her, and she said, "Why didn't you call me?" And I showed her the form, and she laughed for like 10 minutes. And went in and wrote her a policy. So door knocking definitely has its value. I'm not, just because I'm setting appointments right now doesn't mean I'm discrediting door knocking. And the question you asked earlier, which you kind of alluded to at the beginning, you're going to get no-showed, which leaves you, an hour to go door knock. The numbers that I've seen, if you are setting appointments the next day, or if you're doing a good job setting appointments, they're going to be there about 80% of the time. Or if you're setting it 2 days out, it's only about 60% of the time. And if it's past that 2 days, you're at 40% or less. So you almost have to assume, if you set an appointment today for Thursday, you better have your route put together. So when they're not there, you can click on who that closest lead is in your road warrior.
Yeah, most definitely.
Adam, I do want to.
Yeah.
I would like to say something. Actually, you gave me the idea from another agent, and the sticky notes that we have when we're door knocking. If they're not home, you can leave on their door.
Yeah, like a delivery notice.
Yes, I do that, and then in my route, I go back to see if that thing is off the door. If it's off the door, I'm going to knock on the door, and that's worked.
Yep. Yeah, that's again, the delivery notices. I use more of like a tool where if that person calls me back, I'm usually not going to answer the phone. And to me, I don't know, maybe it's just I just don't love setting up appointments. And a lot of times they see that sticky note right away. They're like, what the heck is this about? Sometimes they get mad. Like what this person put on my door. So, a lot of times they're just maybe not in the best mood, I guess. So when they call right away, they're skeptical. I'd rather kind of let them cool down a little bit. And I don't answer, but what I'll do is now I know what time they're home. If they called me at 4:00 in the afternoon, well, now I know that they're home. If I'm still in the area, I'm going to turn around and drive right back over them. And I mean, whether they leave a voicemail or not, if they leave a voicemail, well, that's easy. But if they don't leave a voicemail, I can usually still match their phone number up to the lead. And then I'll turn around and head right back over. And then a lot of times they don't even realize, I don't even mention that I left the delivery notice. So a lot of times they don't even realize that I'm the person that had already been by their house. I'm just another person showing up. So
and for the people who don't know what they look like, they're like these just yellow sticky notes that you're basically putting, their name and your name on it.
Yeah, they definitely come in handy. Like I said, it's a tool. I like what Jason said too. He'll drive past again if that delivery notice is still on the door. I mean, that there's a good possibility then that they're still not home. But so much of this to me, I just feel it's just a game. It's a game we're playing, and we just need to, sooner or later we're going to catch the people. And so, yeah, I mean, again, it's maybe a little bit more time consuming than setting up appointments, but again, even if you're door knocking, some people, they won't be able to meet you right then and there, and you have to set up the appointment. And if that's the case, I mean, I usually try to set up the appointment for even maybe later that day, or the next day. Like if I stop by a house, and usually you can tell if someone's really being truthful with you or if they're just trying to blow you off. I mean, if they tell you that they're very busy and they're in their pajamas and like the TV's on, I don't really think that they're that busy, and it doesn't look like they really have to leave to go pick somebody up anytime soon. Or doctor's appointments. I mean, how many times do you go to a house and the person's got a doctor's appointment they got to get to? I mean, I feel like I hear it all the time, and a lot of times that's just an excuse. It's just a way that they're just trying to blow you off. So I guess you just have to figure out a way to determine if they're really serious or not. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago with the overcoming different objections. And, that's the thing, just the key is, you got to do whatever you can to try to get in the house. Oh, that was what I was going to mention, too, with the direct mail lead cards. I mean, heck, they're in the person's handwriting. To me, when you call the person, a lot of times they might not even remember sending the thing back. But if you're there and you can show it to them, some of them even have return address labels on them. And, you can even show them that if you got the hard copy of the lead card. You can show that to them. But I just feel like it's hard for them to deny that they filled the thing out if you are taking it to them and you're showing it to them. And I don't know. I think maybe a lot of people have a fear of rejection. And I know, Travis, I mean, you were never a fan. You're probably still not a fan of door knocking, but you do it.
I'm never going to like door knocking. I see its value and I love this business, so I do it. You know, we're not going to love every single aspect of it, but I love it as a whole. You know, that's what you got to do if you want to succeed. You got to do the little things that nobody else wants to.
So yeah, I mean, you know, the people out there that, you know, some people door knock, some people set up appointments. I mean, again, I mean, I don't feel like there's really a right or wrong way. I mean, we're just kind of talking about what has worked best for us. I mean, I got tired of calling people, setting up appointments, and half of them not being home. I mean, that's really when I got into strictly door knocking. And now I use my phone as a tool. I mean, it's that's all it is. I mean, if I just can't reach the person sooner or later, it's almost like a last resort sort of thing. But I really don't like calling and setting up appointments. Maybe I just feel like I'm better in person. I'm better once I show up. Well, that's what I was going to say earlier too. Even if you get rejected one way or another over the phone, if you do get a hold of the person and they're just like, no, never mind, I don't want that. I'd recommend to put that in your pile of leads to door knock, because
Yep.
people over the phone, a lot of times they think it's a telemarketer calling them. They don't want to give you the time of day. They're like pre-programmed to just say no. So it's like you take that lead card a few days later, they're not even going to realize that you're the person that they hung up on. And it works the other way around too. If they reject you at the door, they slam the door in your face. I mean, probably not going to happen as often, but I'll pick up the phone a couple days later and I'll call that person. They're probably not even going to realize I'm the same person that they slammed the door on. And I'll try to shoot for an appointment. If I can get an appointment, great. If they're still just mean and nasty and I can tell that an appointment's just not going to happen, well, you know, one luxury is that we can do telesales. We can try to sell them right then and there. And I've done that. I'd say, you know what, fine. You know, I mean, I know you requested information. Why don't we just go over it now? And I'll just kind of go through the presentation over the phone. And I've written some business that way. People that slam the door in my face, and a few days later, I end up writing them over the phone. So, you know, and maybe these days too, you know, some people are still a little uncomfortable with letting people in their house with all these different sicknesses, illnesses, COVID, monkeypox, just all these different things that people have to worry about. So they just don't want to let people in their house. So if that's the case, what's so funny, Travis?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. You know, and I think both of them work. You know, as long as you're disciplined. You know, it's the same with door knock. You know, if you just decide to door knock whenever you feel like it, this business isn't for you. You know, if you just decide, you know, every once in a while I'm gonna pick up the phone and set appointments, you know, the business isn't for you. You know, you have to keep that discipline no matter which way you do it. You know, like just kind of an idea, you know, on my schedule. You know, Saturdays I set appointments for Mondays. Tuesdays I set appointments for Wednesdays. Thursdays and Fridays I'm following up with who I need to and door knocking all day. You know, or if you're door knocking, you know, that Monday through Friday, you know, you just need to be out there, you know, same time, you know, and go till it's dark. You know, we're still in summer where you can door knock really late compared to when you can in February. You know, so take advantage of it.
Yeah, you know, that's something too. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, you could door knock a lead at 8 o'clock at night. There's a good chance that they would not have set up an appointment with you for that time. But, you know, you can still door knock that time and they'll let you in. So, yeah, I mean, you can work later, I think, if you're door knocking. I think you just get more accomplished during the day where maybe you won't have to worry about working on a weekend if you don't have to. So, yeah, I mean, that's, you know, like I said, I don't think there's really a right or wrong way. I just think that you just need to get out and work. and overcome the fear of rejection. Get like Travis. You're not comfortable going up to people's houses and knocking on their doors, but you do it because you know it works. And I think some people, and I had an agent once tell me that he didn't want a door knock because he wouldn't want someone just showing up at his house and knocking on his door. And I'm like, well, you can't think that way. I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, I think a lot of times people will come up with excuses why they can't work, or more excuses why they're failing rather than figuring out solutions. But again, we know what works. I mean, we've done this a long time. And I'm more of a fan of door knocking over setting up appointments. If you have enough leads, though, I'll just kind of leave you with that. If you have enough leads, it might not be a bad idea to find an appointment setter, because I've seen guys. I know one guy that wrote over 400,000 one year because he had an appointment setter. They were setting up his whole week for him. So, if you have that kind of luxury, if you have the money to do it, maybe door knock yourself first, save your money, get to the point where you could hire someone to set up your week for you. And you're still going to have no shows, but you're going to need enough leads to make it happen. And like Travis said, probably at least 30 to 40 leads. And I mean, it's all numbers. I mean, 30 leads, and I've kind of done the math on this. I mean, if you work 30 leads a week, direct mail, you should be able to write over 200,000 a year in premium. If you work 40 leads a week, I mean, you're probably going to be closer to 250 to 300. So it's all about contacts, having enough people to see. And again, just overcoming our fears and not being afraid of getting rejected. One thing I wanted to ask Jason, he mentioned follow-ups. Now, if in me personally, I just kind of feel like if you can't write that person while you're there, there's a very low possibility of ever seeing that person again. But I do know that Jason is pretty good with follow-ups. And now, if someone tells you no and they just can't do it that day, will you, when you follow up with them, do you follow up with them in person or do you call them first? I was just kind of curious.
It depends on the prospect. I have like 7 people right now I've got to call back, and 4 of those people I'll just show up, and the 3 of them, I was just looking at it, 3 of them I will call. But I've had good luck with callbacks and keeping good records. And in fact, I've wrote a lot of business doing that. So keeping good records and following up. And you're going to have your ones that, of course, are going to no-show you and then blow you off.
Yeah. Yeah, I do kind of think that you probably have better results on a follow-up just going back.
Yeah.
If you call that, it's a lot easier for them to get out of it.
About 10 years ago, somebody gave me a rule, and I've always stuck to it. And they called it BAM FAM, book a meeting from a meeting. So the way I've looked at it is if somebody is trying to reschedule or put something to a later date or a follow-up, if I can't get an appointment set while I'm sitting in front of them, it's probably them blowing me off. Or if they're like, oh, I gotta look, I'll get back to you. They are not getting back to you. There's about a 2% chance they're gonna call you. So I always just tell them, look, I have to go see 10 people every single day, day in and day out. They have me work in the west side, the east side, north and south of the state. I can't just, you can't just call me and say, hey, come over tomorrow. That's, I just can't do that. So if I can't book a meeting right here, they're probably not actually interested in it. The one that I closed this morning at 9:00, that was a follow-up. That's what I told him. I saw him on Friday. He had to talk to his niece. So I said, listen, I'm going to be back here on Monday. Talk to your niece. I can do Monday at 9:00. And if he agrees, then we got an appointment. If he doesn't agree to that and says, no, call me, then, we're probably not doing business.
I like that. I think another thing too, I I mean, you can door knock anything, even cancellations. People call to cancel their policy. You got a much better chance of conserving that business if you go back to their house and see that person and talk to them face to face. If you call them, I mean, you're just, again, it'll be a very quick phone call and they're just going to try to get you off the phone. They've already made their decision. If you show up, it shows that you really care. And I mean, I've done it on cancellations. I've done that even on policy lapses. People's policies lapse. Sometimes people don't even realize their policy lapsed. And if you just show up, they like that. It shows that you, like I said, it shows that you care, and you can help them get their insurance reestablished. So,
and how many people have you had over the years cancel, and because they got AARP because it was $2 cheaper? If you call them on the phone, you can't explain that to them. They're not going to give you enough time.
Exactly.
If you show up at your house, you can show them in that policy, this isn't what you think it is. This is why we did it this way. And you're going to conserve that business.
It's so funny, we're on our phones all day, I feel like, with technology and everything else, but this business is still pretty old school. And I mean, like I said, I mean, I treat my phone as like a last resort. I mean, I'll use it for the mapping program to get to where I need to get to, but the phone is a last resort. I'm going to go out there and see the people. And like I said, whether it's a new lead, whether it's a follow-up, whether it is a cancellation, whether it's a lapse, they got to tell me yes or no to my face. And again, and if they tell me no to my face on a lead, well, then a couple days later, I'm going to get on the phone and I'm going to call them and either set up the appointment or, as I mentioned, sell them over the phone if I have to. So, well, I think that's pretty good for now. Thanks for hopping on, Travis and Jason. Appreciate your help with this. And I'll let you, I know, Travis, you probably I know you're in your car right now, so you're probably heading to your next appointment. So
no, I don't have one till 3, so I'm gonna be door knocking till.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. See, you got enough leads. That's what you do.
Absolutely. Well, look forward to seeing you at the meeting next week.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks. Yeah, I'll be seeing both you guys next week. And yeah, just remember, again, Monday we'll be in Illinois. Wednesday, I'm going to be in South Carolina, and Thursday, I'm going to be in Florida. That's next week. So if any of you want to attend, let me know, and I'll add you to the RSVP. And I look forward to seeing you. So I look forward to seeing both of you guys next week. And thanks again, everybody on the call. Have a great week. If you need me, feel free to reach out. If you need Travis or Jason or any of our other managers, don't hesitate to give us a call. That's what we're here to do, is to help. And like I said, I've always said one luxury of doing business with us is that, well, we've been doing this a long time. We can help you, we can support you, and we can see to it that you have a long lasting, successful career in the business. So thanks again, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.